someone's all around. Sweet music played, a kaleidoscope of sound. Fly away with your dream up in the sky, never asking why you're there. When you return, I wander to my door. I am the light you'll remember. Dream up in the sky, never asking why you're there. When you return, I wander to my door. I am the light you remember.
In the dark depths of winter, all sensible animals are hibernating, be it in the bough of a tree or underneath the leaves in the ivy and the holly bushes. Those that haven't hibernated stock up on as much food as they can, but by February there's precious little left in the landscape. But it is this time of year when the ancient Celtic fire festival of Imbolc occurs, a time of transformation and renewal. In lore, it is said that the crone goddess who rules over those dark winter days hands over her wand to Bridget, the white goddess, and new life begins to grow. It's also the time when Jack in the Green brings out his magic wand and goes round to every single flower. He puts his tiny wand onto them and the buds start to grow. You may think that snowdrops will be the first flowers that we'll be seeing at this time of year, but in fact there is one that is much rarer, and it grows high up on the crags in some very rare spots in the Peak District. We're going to find it now, and it's up there. Nah, we'll go the easy way. This is punishment for me saying it was the easy route.
The moment you leave the valley floor, the paths are indistinct at best, and soon become a tangle of branches and roots.
It's a long way down to Cromford, and we've got to go up there.
Cut out by the action of glacial meltwater, the sides are climbable in places. The ancient limestone erodes and fractures easily, giving just a few lucky handholds. This is not something to scale if you don't have a head for heights.
It's a long way down, but on the cliffs just behind us, we found the plant we're looking for.
This odd-looking plant with its bright yellow bloom stands out like a beacon amongst the sleeping woodland. There is not just one plant, but over 100 growing amongst the rocks, and to access them requires even more climbing.
And the view from the top of the crags is that of Wellesley Castle, the grand Georgian building commissioned by Sir Richard Arkwright, lying next to his rich Derwent Valley estate.
Just below the summit, the plants grow from within the rocks themselves.
This strange-looking plant that almost looks like it should be from a tropical rainforest is a native to Europe. It's called the stinking hellebore. I'm not going to touch it too much because the plant is very toxic. If you were to break apart the leaves or the flowers, or even if just to rub them, the actual toxins can get into your skin and they're quite deadly. Famously in history, Alexander the Great was actually killed with hellebore poison. Along with its place in history, it also has quite a rich folklore. Witches were said to use it as part of their flying ointment. It's also said in Christian law that the very first hellebore sprouted from a girl's tear in the snow. She was crying because she hadn't bought a gift for baby Jesus.
The stinking hellebore is also known as bear's foot and dungwort, being a member of the buttercup family Ranunculaceae. It is native to the mountainous regions of Central Europe, and its provenance as a wild British native is still up for debate. Fascinatingly, yeast colonise each flower's nectaries and raise its temperature, which may aid in attracting pollinators. It was the first species this effect was ever discovered in. Any insect would be happy for a bit of warmth at this time of year, especially when the snow is still lying heavy on the ground.